Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive into simple spoken English today.
Ooh, very cool.
And, I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah.
It's all about how to actually stick with language learning even when life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Which, let's be real, it always does.
It does. It does.
So have you ever felt like this?
Oh, absolutely.
Like you start with this amazing routine and I'm just like, bam, exams hit or work gets crazy or whatever. And English practice is just the first thing to go.
Yeah, it's so common. Like we all have that initial burst of enthusiasm.
Yes.
And then life throws a curveball and we think, oh, well.
Yeah, and this book, Simple Spoken English, really emphasizes that it's not about these intense study marathons.
Right.
It's really about the consistency. They actually cited a study that said something like 74% of learners give up within 6 months.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know, but get this. The people who practice just 15 minutes daily,
Oh, wow.
they're 3 times more likely to become fluent.
15 minutes. That's like one cat video on YouTube.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So it's like reframing what successful language learning even looks like.
Totally.
It's not about these huge chunks of time.
Yeah.
It's about these small, consistent actions.
Okay, so let's get into some of those tips.
Okay.
The book starts off talking about Maria.
Okay.
She's this student who has this super ambitious English routine.
Yeah.
But then exams hit.
Oh, no.
I know, poor Maria, right? Her 30-minute study sessions just went out the window.
Totally gone.
And she's feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, you feel like there goes my good intention.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people listening can probably relate to that.
Oh, for sure.
But this is where Maria's story takes a turn.
Okay.
She realizes she doesn't need to cram everything into one big session.
Uh-huh.
And this is where the concept of micro-learning comes in.
Okay.
So instead of those 30-minute blocks, she starts breaking her practice into 5-minute chunks throughout the day.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
That seems almost too simple.
We don't.
Right, but the thing is, our brains actually handle small challenges better.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes feels manageable.
Yeah.
So you're less likely to just be like, ugh, I don't want to do that.
Procrastinate. Yeah.
Exactly, procrastination.
So what did these micro-learning sessions look like for Maria?
Well, it could be anything, like reviewing flashcards while she's waiting for her coffee.
Okay.
Listening to a quick podcast snippet on the bus, or even writing down new words that she heard during TV commercials.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just these little bursts add up over time.
Yeah. I'm already thinking about my day and where I can sneak in those 5 minutes.
Right.
Waiting in line at the grocery store is prime English learning time now.
Exactly. And that's the point. It's about making English a natural part of your life, not this separate chore you have to schedule in.
Totally. And the book goes on to give another example of this with John Pervilla.
Okay.
He's a nurse who works these crazy long shifts.
Oh, wow.
And, he's so exhausted after work.
I can only imagine.
I know. And the thought of sitting down and studying English just filled him with dread.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Right? Sometimes just making dinner is a Herculean effort.
Totally.
So how did John manage to fit in English practice?
Well, he used this technique called habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's basically linking a new habit that you want to form with an existing habit you already do consistently.
Okay.
So, for example, John loves to cook.
Okay.
So he started listening to English podcasts while he chopped veggies.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, or while he grepped ingredients.
So he's literally learning while he's cooking dinner.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And I think he even learned the idiom spill the beans while actually spilling beans into a pot.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know, it's funny how these things work out.
So by attaching it to something he's already doing every day, it stops feeling like this, big effort.
Yeah.
It just becomes part of his routine.
Exactly.
And that's really the key, right?
Yeah.
It's not about willpower or motivation.
Right.
It's about making it automatic.
Yeah, subconscious almost.
What's a habit that you could stack with English practice?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm a big tea drinker, so maybe I could listen to a short English lesson while I wait for my kettle to boil.
That's perfect.
Or even just practice describing the different aromas of the tea in English.
Oh, I love that.
Just anything to make it a habit.
Yeah, and make it personal.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, sometimes studying can feel a bit boring.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's where simple spoken English gets really fun.
Okay, tell me more.
Let's talk about gamification.
Ooh, gamification. I like it.
Yeah, both Maria and John actually found ways to turn their English practice into a game.
That makes so much sense.
It does, right?
Who doesn't love a little healthy competition?
So how did they gamify it? Did they create elaborate escape rooms filled with English grammar puzzles?
Not quite that elaborate.
Okay.
So for example, Maria and her sister started competing on Duolingo
Oh.
to see who could maintain the longest streak.
And that's good.
And like loser buys coffee or something.
Oh, I would be so competitive.
Right. Talk about motivation.
And what about John?
So John, he got hooked on Quizlet's match mode.
Okay.
So racing against the clock to like match vocab words with their definitions.
That sounds way more exciting than just staring at flashcards.
Yeah, it's way more fun.
But is there like a scientific reason why this works so well?
Absolutely. So gamification taps into our brain's reward system.
Okay.
So when you achieve something in a game, even something small like beating your previous score, your brain releases dopamine.
Okay.
And dopamine makes us feel good, which makes us want to keep playing.
So it's like you're training your brain to associate learning with pleasure.
Exactly.
Instead of thinking, I have to study.
You're thinking, yes, I get to play.
I get to level
I
up.
get to level up my English. It's a total mindset shift.
And you don't have to like use an app or anything.
Yeah.
You could just have simple rewards for yourself.
Totally.
Like a favorite snack.
Uh-huh.
Or going for a walk outside.
Yeah, anything you enjoy.
It's about making it fun for yourself.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got micro-learning, we've got habit stacking, we've got gamification.
We're on a roll.
I know, I'm ready to like revamp my entire study routine.
I know, me too.
But simple spoken English has even more up its sleeve.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Remember how Maria's routine was like totally derailed by exams?
Uh-huh.
Well, even when things calmed down, she found herself getting bored with her study materials.
Oh, that's a problem.
It is. And so she came up with this brilliant solution.
What is it?
Theme days.
Ooh, theme days. Tell me more.
So Mondays became Music Mondays.
Music Monday.
Where she would analyze song lyrics.
Oh, fun.
Like Taylor Swift lyrics.
Oh, I love that.
To learn new phrases and expressions.
That's so creative.
Right?
I wish they taught us that way in school. That would have been much more fun.
Okay, what other theme days did she have?
So she also had TED Talk Wednesdays.
Okay.
Where she would watch a short TED Talk, focus on the speaker's pronunciation, and jot down any interesting vocabulary.
Nice.
And then, of course, Movie Fridays.
Yes.
Where she would rewatch scenes from, like, Friends and practice jokes and dialogue.
So she's, like, incorporating her own interests into her learning?
Exactly.
Turning her hobbies into study sessions.
Yeah.
But why are theme days so effective? Is it just about adding variety, or is there something deeper going on?
I think it's definitely about variety, but it's also about tapping into different parts of your brain.
Okay.
Thematic learning helps to spark curiosity and keep things fresh.
Yeah.
You're less likely to zone out when you're constantly switching gears and exploring these new areas of interest.
It's like giving your brain a little workout, but in like a really fun way.
Yeah.
What are some other theme day ideas that our listeners could try?
Ooh, let's see. So for tech lovers out there, there's Tech Tuesdays.
Tech Tuesdays, I like it.
Yeah, where you watch gadget reviews in English.
Oh, cool.
Or maybe Story Saturdays for the creative writers.
Ooh, Story Saturdays. I like that.
Where you challenge yourself to write a short story using, like, new vocabulary.
Ooh, Story Saturdays is speaking to my inner writer.
I know, right?
But before I get carried away with theme days, we have one more important tip.
Yes, we do.
And it's simple, but crucial.
Okay.
Celebrate your wins.
Celebrate.
No matter how small.
Yes.
We all need a little celebration, especially when it comes to something as challenging as language learning.
Absolutely.
So did Maria and John have any special celebration rituals?
Nothing too elaborate.
Okay.
John treated himself to a fancy coffee after a 7-day Duolingo streak.
Oh, nice.
And Maria had a little dance party with her dog after learning 10 new words.
Okay. I love that image.
Yeah, it's adorable.
It's so cute.
It's all about finding something that feels personally rewarding.
Yeah.
And meaningful to you.
But why is celebration so important?
Well, remember that dopamine we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Well, celebrating triggers that same dopamine release.
Oh, okay.
So it reinforces those positive associations with learning.
Uh-huh.
It's about rewiring your brain to see language learning as something enjoyable.
Yeah.
That you look forward to.
Not something to dread.
Exactly.
So it's not just about a fleeting moment of happiness.
Right.
It's about creating long-term changes in how we view and approach learning.
Totally. And this applies to anything you're trying to achieve in life.
Yeah.
Don't downplay your wins,
Yes.
no matter how small they may seem.
Celebrate those tiny victories.
Give yourself credit for putting in the effort.
Such an important message.
It is.
You deserve it.
You do.
Yeah, it really is a journey, you know?
It is.
And it's about finding the tools and strategies that make the journey enjoyable.
For sure.
Even when it gets bumpy.
Totally. And what's so refreshing about simple spoken English is it's not like a magic formula.
Right.
It's more about like showing how real people like Maria and John have actually used these strategies to overcome like their own challenges.
I think that's what makes it so relatable.
Totally.
If they can do it, maybe I can too.
Yeah, and it reminds us that consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you.
Totally.
And making it sustainable.
So if someone is listening to this right now and feeling inspired to give these tips a try, where would you recommend they start?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think the most powerful message is that consistency doesn't have to be this like monumental effort.
Right.
It's about showing up.
Yeah.
Even for just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even when you're tired.
Even when you'd rather be doing anything else.
Exactly.
It's about making it a habit.
Yeah.
Not a burden.
A habit, not a burden. I love that
And this book, Simple Spoken English, I think it does a great job of breaking down those mental barriers that we put up around language learning.
For sure.
Makes it feel accessible.
Yeah.
Achievable.
Even for the busiest people.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these awesome tips, I'd love to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
Okay, I like
Or challenge. Something that encourages them to take action.
Yeah.
And apply what they've learned today.
Okay, let me think. How about this? I think it would be great if our listeners could identify just one tip that really resonated with them.
Okay.
The one that made them think, yeah, I could actually do that.
Okay, so find the tip that speaks to you. And then what?
And then the challenges.
Yeah.
How can you implement that tip this week?
Okay.
How can you take that first step and start building that consistency muscle?
I love that challenge. It's not about trying to do everything at once.
Right.
It's about picking one strategy that feels manageable and committing to it.
Yeah, just for a week.
Even if it's just for a week.
See how it feels. See what happens.
Exactly.
Start small, be consistent, and I guarantee you'll start to see progress.
And don't forget to celebrate those wins along the way.
Absolutely. Every little victory counts.
And remember, fluency isn't a destination.
It's a journey.
Enjoy the ride.
Lad.
You know, as we've been talking about these tips, it's really struck me that they're not just about language learning.
Yeah.
They're really about building any kind of positive habit.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah. Whether you're trying to learn a new skill or get fitter or even just like be more mindful.
Yeah.
I think these strategies can really help.
It's about understanding how our brains work.
Yeah.
And using that to our advantage.
Exactly.
That's what I love about simple spoken English. It goes beyond just giving advice.
Yeah.
And it actually digs into like
the psychology behind it.
Yeah.
I think that's so important.
And they do it in such a relatable way.
Totally. It's not like a dry academic lecture.
No.
It feels like you're having a conversation with people who have actually been there.
Who get it.
Who have struggled with the same things.
So for anyone listening who's maybe feeling a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Or maybe even discouraged because they've tried and failed to stick with language learning in the past. What would you say to them?
I would say, first of all, you're not alone.
Yeah.
We've all been there. And second, don't be afraid to experiment.
Yeah.
Find what works for you.
Yeah.
If one strategy doesn't resonate, try another one.
There's no one-size-fits-all.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to consistency.
It's about finding your own rhythm, your own way of making English a natural part of your life.
Yeah. And remember, it's okay to start small.
Yes.
Even just 5 minutes a day can make a difference.
5 minutes?
The key is to show up consistently.
Yep.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Because the small actions over time, they really add up.
They do.
And they can lead to amazing results. So keep experimenting, keep learning, keep growing.
Keep going.
And most importantly, don't forget to celebrate those wins.
Yes, celebrate those wins, everyone.
Big or small.
You deserve it.
You do.
I think that is the perfect note to end on.
I agree.
So remember, everyone, fluency isn't a destination. It's a journey.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy